Tonight, we are getting the first look at the 14-year-old accused of killing his parents. This is Trevor Lee. Clay County deputies say he called 911 just after midnight Monday while standing in the parking lot of a church over a mile away from his home.
Just after midnight this morning, our 911 communications center received a call from a young man who stated he had just killed his parents.
What's up? We're back. This is Fugitive TV with your host, Ray Marcel, aka Kase Blaze, bringing you that true crime. Now, this is what we're going to get into today. We're going to get into Trevor Lee. Trevor Lee is that 14-year-old kid that got accused of offing both of his parents.
I'm Tanika Hughes.
And I'm Ben Becker. Lee's parents were found dead inside their home on Silver Point and County Road 220. Action Jack's Madison Foglio's live in Middleburg and Madison. You listen to two newly released 911 calls.
Now, one of the reasons why I started this channel is because I was a fugitive. I was on a run for a long time, years, 15 years. And while I was on a run, I was actually doing good things out there. I started a few businesses, which I still have. I did a lot of things, right? You want to know the whole story? I'm going to start doing more interviews. I already did some interviews, and I got a book coming out soon. I'm going to let y'all know when that book drops, right? But we're going to get into Trevor Lee. And Trevor Lee was accused of offing both of his parents. So supposedly he went into the room while they were sleeping, got them both with the pistol, shot them both, and they passed away. After he did that, he walked a mile down the street to a church.
Give us a small glimpse into what happened moments after 14-year-old Trevor Lee allegedly killed his parents, David and Brandy. The Clay County Sheriff's Office released two 911 calls, one from Trevor and one from his sister who's in California. She stayed on the phone with dispatchers for nearly 20 minutes while deputies tried to track down her brother and get into the home.
Yeah, this is obviously extremely tragic when you have a 14-year-old that feels such a way that the only solution is to kill their parents. We are still very early in this investigation. The suspect has been very cooperative with our detectives and, walking us through his thought process, and all of that will be revealed in time. But, through the investigative process, we did discover that he had called his sister prior to calling 911. And so that's some new information that we're going to have to track down. His sister is in the military, is stationed in another state. So we're going to have to get her in and interview her regarding this issue, this terrible, terrible incident.
Wow.
Now, he called 911. But before he called 911, he called his sister. His sister is out in California, and she was in the military. I should say she's in the military, right? So he called his sister and I guess let her know what happened.
Are you there with him? Send help. No, I'm all the way in California. Please, I need you to send help. Let me see. I don't know where he's at. I have no idea where he's at. But please, hurry up. Honestly, I'm in the military. I don't know what goes on. But they just had a good day. They went to the movies.
Then he called 911, right? And the call was very interesting because he called 911 and turned himself in. Said that his parents was, in the house. This is what happened. And then he asked the operator to pray for him. So the kid showed remorse. Now, remember, this kid's 14 years old, right?
Hello, I'm by the road. I threw my backpack away from me. I'm stripped. I'm waiting for the police.
What do you mean you're
I have
stripped?
nothing in my pocket. I emptied my pockets and everything. There's nothing in my pockets. And I'm not on the sidewalk. I'm like in the middle part.
You're going to be in the parking lot?
No, like in the middle part.
In the middle part of what? Of the church?
I'm gonna pray first. I need to pray.
You need to pray?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Before you start praying, tell me exactly where you're at.
If you're driving towards the church, like I'm right out in front of the church, there's a big cross.
So this kid did that. They take him to jail. They pick him up. And he's, being held in jail right now. Now, there's other people coming out talking about that he was a good kid.
Do you pray?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead. I'll listen to you.
Well, I was going to ask if you could pray for me, ma'am. Right now.
I'll definitely be praying for you, son. Okay, we've asked them not to point guns at you. Okay, they're going to be approaching you any minute.
So, for example, he has a best friend. His best friend said, hey, his family was like his family. He used to go over there all the time. They played football together. His dad would pick them up from football practice, and they would ride together. And, you know, it was like his family. Like he was an extended part of the family.
13-year-old Kyrie Beeman came to David Lee and Brandy Smith's home almost every week to hang out with his best friend, Trevor Lee. Monday afternoon, Beeman is now praying in front of the home. Beeman says he last spoke with Lee around midnight.
He told me that he loved me, and he told me that he was just calling to tell me good night. Trevor isn't a bad person. He made some bad mistakes, and he will suffer the consequences of them, but that's not all he was.
She was a happy person. I mean, just a good person all the way around.
James Lewis is cousins with Brandy Smith and says her family was like any other.
Every time I seen them laughing, you know, joking, doing family things.
2 parents gone, a teen behind bars, and a Middleburg community now rattled forever.
The Trevor that did this, I don't know that Trevor. And the Trevor that I knew and all of our friends knew, I will continue to be friends with him. And I pray that the Trevor that did this died last night.
Now, the best friend said that he is going to continue riding for his friend, that even though his friend off both of his parents, he's going to be by his side. Now, the sister pretty much said the same thing. The sister said this kid was a good kid.
Action News Jack spoke exclusively to Lee's sister, Ayanna Russell. She says despite this horrific tragedy, she still loves her little brother.
Did he make a mistake? Yes. He made a big mistake, a huge one. My little brother, he is not a monster.
My little brother's great, and I can't believe he did this. Even though he did this and he made a mistake, I'm going to ride by my brother's side. My question to you is, if this was your friend, your best friend, what would you do? Would you ride by his side? If this was your little brother or even big brother and he off both of y'all parents, would you still ride by his side? You know, really think about that. And what would you do? You know, let me know what you would do, you know, and also like, subscribe, turn on your notifications. I'm trying to grow this channel. The bigger I grow, the bigger we all grow. Okay. So help me out. But what would y'all do? So when he made the call to 911 operator, they didn't tell us the whole call, but you could tell the 911 operator was caught off guard by the, can you pray for me? I'm pretty sure she's never had anybody call her on her job, confess to the crime, and then after that say, can you pray for me? Now, it could have happened. I mean, we got some people in this world, right? But you knew she was caught off guard just by how he said that.
His house is in relation to the church. Even though it was, you know, probably close to a 1.5 mile walk, it was a pretty direct line. This church sits up on a major road and is easily discernible as you're walking. And you know, I'm thinking like you that his sister just encouraged him to call 911, and he probably felt that, you know, walking up to the church and waiting for deputies to arrive was probably the safest place for him to do that. You know, interestingly enough, we've had quite a few swatting calls in our community over the past couple of years. So initially when the call came in, there was some concern with our communication center that this was going to be another swatting call. So our communication center kept him on the line for quite a while as deputies responded to the house and surrounded the house and then attempted to make contact with the occupants inside the house. And based upon the information that our communication center was being given, the deputies made the determination to go ahead and make entry into the home to do what we call a protective sweep, where the deputies found the 2 deceased parents. And then our comm center, our dispatcher did a fantastic job keeping him on the phone and talking to him. And within just a couple of minutes, we were able to put eyes on him at the church. You know, and at this point, we don't know if he was still armed. So the deputy that had eyes on him waited for a couple of backup deputies to get there, and then they came up with a plan and took him into custody. He came into custody peacefully. He did not, you know, push back at all. He was in fact extremely cooperative with the deputies who took him into custody at the scene at the church, and then also with the detectives later on in the evening who were interviewing him.
My next question is, what do you think caused him to go just do this? What do you think caused him to snap? They do say that there was some sort of an argument before all this happened. Now, what could the argument could have been? Could the argument, you know, you're not playing football next week? No, you can't eat this. You ate all the Oreos. What is what would cause a 14-year-old kid have a disagreement with his parents to go and do what he did? You know, can you even put yourself in the mind frame to think about what he probably did, you know, or what he was thinking to do that? Now, they do say the weapon was, I guess, the parents' weapon. He went in there and got the parents' weapon and did that. He knew where it was at, you know, but what do you think? What do you think caused this? Did he have trauma already? Well, when I was locked up, right? And I was in there with a lot of people. And there was some good people in there. There was some good people. I'll never forget this one guy. And I talk about it in my book, right? This one guy I was in there with. He was accused of he was accused of offing his pregnant baby mother and the baby. I don't remember the full story, but something happened between those two, and he just snapped and went and did a shooting at the place she worked at, ended up hitting her, and she passed away, and she was pregnant, and the baby passed away. I don't know exactly what happened to him. We were both in the county together, so he was awaiting trial and things like that. But he was very smart. First of all, he was multiracial like me. He was mixed with black and white. He spoke Japanese, Spanish, English, and both dialects of Chinese. Chinese, one dialect is hard enough. He spoke both dialects. The two main dialects in China he spoke. His kids, he had kids from a previous. His kids were half Japanese and half black. And he would be on the phone talking to them in Japanese. They wouldn't speak English. It was Japanese. And this guy was reading the book every night. I learned a lot from him. And talking to him, you know, you really don't sometimes talk to people about the details of their crime, because some people are scared that if you give them details, you're going to run back, go to the people, and pretty much snitch on him. Hey, I know the details of what he did and how he did it. Now you're going to get, you know, your time lessened because you snitched on him. So you really don't want to, you know, intrude on too much details unless they're already sentenced in your prison. Different story. But before then, you kind of don't want to. And you don't want to ask them, like, why did you snap? You know, or what happened? What went on, you know? But if I remember correctly, I do remember he didn't think that she was cheating or something. And I guess that just caused them to go off the wall. Now, but we don't know if there was anything before that.
Records show that the Clay County Sheriff's Office has been called to the home 5 times since 2021, once for a suicide threat that year. In 2022, there was a call for a disturbance. In 2024, deputies were called to the house twice for a sick person, and in April of this year, there was an unknown follow-up investigation. Then came the call for the shooting early Monday morning.
We don't know if he kept stuff bottled in and he was just waiting to snap. Because all of us as humans, you know, some of us will talk it out, but then some of us, we keep things bottled in. And that one little thing that fills over the top, you just explode and ready to snap. So is that what happened with this kid? Was everybody saw a smile on his face, but was he really keeping things bottled in, and just one day he said he just can't take it no more, snapped, released it, and now he's showing remorse? And it's something that we really have to consider, you know, when it comes to mental awareness, right? Now, what do you think should happen with the kid? Do you think they should lock him up, throw away the key? Now, remember, he's 14 years old. There's a lot of people saying lock him up, throw away the key. And there's a lot of people saying no, give him a second chance of life. He made a mistake. This is a big mistake, though. Big mistake. Now, the way I look at it is, when I was in that place, county, prison, and all the other places, but all them real people who was out there doing this stuff, they had no remorse. They didn't care, man. They was out there robbing, sticking, poking, shooting all kind of people. No remorse. And they're laughing, playing cards. This kid showed remorse afterwards. He walked to the church and then turned himself in and called 911 and then asked the operator to pray for him. So do you think him showing us remorse is signs of him, or I should say signs that he can have a second chance of life? That, yeah, you punish him, you give him some time, whatever it is, but when he gets out, do you think he'll get a second chance of life? He's got a support system. His best friend's riding with him. His best friend is underage, and I'm pretty sure his best friend could not make any reports to the news without his parents' consent. So if his parents are consenting to his best friend riding for him on national TV, I'm pretty sure that his best friend's parents are riding with him too. And his sister is riding with him. So that means when he gets out, he's already got a support system. But what would you do? If you was the judge of this, what would you do? Would you give him the death penalty? Would you give him life? Would you give him, let's say, 20 years? Now, don't forget, he's 14. Would you trial him as a juvenile and then let him back out at 18 years old? You know, what would you do? Let me know. This is Fugitive TV, and we'll be back soon. Out.